What's up, everyone?
What's up, dickheads?
Brooks is just
This is a great start.
A lot of energy coming out the gates.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. It is Monday, November 11th.
Sorry, guys.
Talking about some
I
Week
might
10.
cut back on.
Nah, you're good. We're going to talk about some Week 10 action. But before we get to that, we got a couple shout-outs we got to give. Shout-out to Sean and Hillary Foy. Congratulations on the wedding this weekend. We were all there. It was excellent. We had a great time. And then Rogers has got a couple things he wants to say about that weekend and he wants to shout out some other friends of the show.
Yes, without a doubt. There's been a lot of friends and family who have reached out to me either personally or via text over the course of the last couple of days to just say, like, holy hell, what you guys are doing is great. Helping the what up, Joe? Like mental health stuff has been phenomenal. I want to give a shout out to Veterans Day, to all the vets that we know. We know a ton of them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. There's nothing else. And the reason I'm wearing this today for a second day in a row is for you guys. And I do no justice to what the hell you guys have done or women have done to our country. I mean, you are killing it. Second, to Meghan Markland and David Jacobs. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for talking. Thank you for hanging out. My cousin, Katie Tootin, and my newest, what I'm going to call my nephew, Camden Tootin. It was amazing meeting you. And Katie, I love you. Thank you for pulling me aside. And last but not least, I met a couple people last night having fun. I've known them for a while, but they just got married. Chris, I hope I'm saying your last name right, Chris. Chris Misner. Congratulations getting married. And then to Sean and Hillary, holy hell, what a great time. I mean, we all got to just dance and have fun and sweat and just enjoy ourselves.
Emphasis on the sweat.
Sweat. Can you guys hear me now finally?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I like you better when your mic was turned off. Sometimes people like me as well.
Brooks, you're looking like Andy Reid over there. Why are you so red?
I know. I've been messing with this camera. I don't know why.
Yeah, you look like your blood pressures are like a 200 over 60.
Probably is after all the drinking we just did this weekend. So, yeah. But yeah, same thing as what Brian said. Happy Veterans Day. A lot of vets in our family and our friend circles as well. So shout out to you guys. Go get yourself some free meals today. I know you guys get to go around and take advantage of a lot of free meals today, which is awesome. And if you're around at like a coffee shop, see one wearing anything, buy them a coffee or something like that. Tell them you appreciate them. So
yeah.
Oh, and last but not least, I want to go back to what we did on Friday. Thank you to Kim Bosley. Thank you to Chesapeake Wine Company. If you were in Canton, go see that shop.
The place is awesome.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Cool place to go and hang out, or you can just go in and get a bottle of wine, some bourbon. They got a bunch of different stuff. We tried one there. Forgetting the name of it right off the top of my head, but it was really, really good. We'll get that information to you.
Breckenridge.
Yeah.
Well, it's not out yet. They don't have. I don't even know if they have a name for it yet. But it was a tester in a different bottle.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, it was really good. And the place, the Chesapeake Wine Company, is really awesome. Where the old Canton Can Company is in Canton. I'm sure you guys are familiar, right off Boston Street. So that was really fun. Shout out to Antonio and Russ. Thank you guys for coming on. Shout out to all our friends who and family who made the trek over there and came and hung out with us for a little while. That day was awesome. And then we got to cap it off with the wedding and going to Little Havana and ripping some shots of tequila.
Before we even get going into sports and all this other nonsense that we're going to talk about, that really means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Having the friends and family and everyone that we have encountered with, even some people that we didn't know in advance, has been very nice and very it's wholesome. It feels good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that all you guys who are either watching or going to listen at some point got to experience just some fun. Or if you want to punch us in the face, please feel free. We have punchable faces.
Got a face for radio, right? The no, I mean, just the amount of people that showed up and supported the Foys just is a testament to how good of people they are and their family. So
Yeah.
that was awesome.
What a great wedding. What a great freaking wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go down memory lane with a couple people over the wedding. I didn't realize the Milburns are from Pasadena as well. I know Pigtown Sports, Zach Moore is as well. I think Lauren might be your year at Chesapeake. I'm not sure. But yeah, got to go down memory lane. Dustin, did you know Lowers is out of business, or sold or is out of business? They sold both of those.
Yeah, I did know that. It's unfortunate. I think one of them's a Gershbeck's and one of them is like a Mars or something. Or I don't know if Mars is.
She said the bakery's still there. Like there's still like a Lowers bakery, which we always used to get their donuts growing up as well.
Yeah.
So
and when we lived on Marley Neck Road, there was one still in Rivera Beach that we could go to.
There you go.
I haven't been there in so long, and obviously I won't be going back because we're not there anymore. It's sad. But yeah, that's a big part of our childhood. What's up, Antonio? How you doing, brother?
Antonio! Dude.
So one of my good high school friends at randomly bartending at Little Havana. That took me down memory lane a little bit. Looks nothing like it used to. But shout out to you, Baguki. If you end up watching the show, I'm sure you won't. But
yeah,
that was good to see him though.
When you said the word Baguki, I thought you were talking about a disease.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the hell's Baguki?
Yeah, used to be a legit lacrosse player at Calvert Hall. But yeah, it was really good to see him. The guy's stupid smart too.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Antonio, you are stupid smart in a amazing way. Thank you so much for coming on, my man. You killed it. I hope you had fun. And the smile on your face made your dad smile, by the way, buddy. And Deborah, and Deb. Deb even said to me, she goes, "Look at him," and you were just smiling. Antonio.
Thank you guys for coming on, the whole family. It was great. On Friday at Chesapeake Wine Company. Once again, go check them out. All right. I think we have got most of our shout outs and stuff out of the way. Before we jump into yesterday's slate of football, do you have anything else from the Thursday night game or any Ravens stuff that you guys want to talk about, or do you guys just want to jump straight into NFL Sunday yesterday?
I'm going to say something about the Ravens real fast. Yeah, our secondary still stinks. Kyle Hamilton, I hope you're okay. Roquan Smith, you're a stud. Matabike, get more pressure up the middle. And Owe, figure it out. You're a slender Huckleberry. Use a swim tactic or something. Get to the quarterback.
And Pigtown Sports says here, Marcus Williams is poop. I think a lot of people in Baltimore would be in agreement with you at this point in the season. He has not been great thus far. Hopefully he can get better, get back to the form of the guy we signed coming from New Orleans, and stay on the field consistently.
Hey, Joe said he doesn't got his package yet, his care package, Brian, so you might need to check the tracking device on that.
Okay, I got it. No problem. And I've been in contact with Joe on the side. Joe, so I apologize in advance. I will check that after we get off this live. Yeah. But it's definitely been mailed via UPS.
Yeah. And knowing Brian's history with technology and those kind of things, that might be a little difficult for him to check a tracking number. But we'll see how it can go.
I met a very nice woman at the UPS store who looked like she could milk a village. So she definitely mailed it.
Mean?
Oh God.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some football. We already talked a lot on the Friday show about Baltimore and Cincinnati, and at some point the Ravens will come up during this show too, but we don't have to hearken so much straight on that game. We're going to talk about the rest of the league. First game of the day was the Munich game. I don't want to talk about this too much because this was like just the worst. I mean, it was an overtime game, but it was just two of the worst teams in the league. Honestly, I watched a lot of it, and it wasn't that bad of a game to watch. Brian, you got something on this? You had your hand up.
Yeah, I have two things. One, I hope you weren't wearing clothes when you watched this game because that was terrible. And then two, to John Heumann, I love you. I love you. He took the Giants into the survivor pool. He was one of 12 out of like 4,000.
Yeah.
And he took the Giants in Munich. Shame.
Honestly, shame for sure, because if Daniel Jones played any semblance of NFL quarterback in this game, then they would have won this game by a million. Chuba Hubbard's the only thing on Carolina's offense that does anything that looks halfway good. Bryce Young threw 25 times for 125 yards. That's 5 yards a pass. That's not good. But the two running backs, Tyrone Tracy and Chuba Hubbard, really stole the show in this game. I felt really bad at the end of the game for Tyrone Tracy after he fumbled in overtime. He played so well the whole game. It really kept the Giants in the game, and then lost that fumble in OT, and that basically clinched the game for Carolina. He looked like a sad puppy on the sideline. They had a towel over his head. It sucked to watch because obviously that guy's he's a young kid. I think he's a rookie, and really had a great game and really kept them in it. But
for whatever it's worth, the fact that a couple guys from the Giants came over and just kind of like consoled him.
Yeah.
And he's a rookie.
Yeah.
That man played his ass off.
Yeah, he did.
And that's a learning experience for him as a rookie too. Look, this is a team that's not going anywhere anyway, and he'll realize that later in his career, I assume. But I'm sure even right now, still, like, look, he feels like he lost the team the game, and he didn't lose the team the game. The guy who lost the team the game was Daniel Jones. That guy is so bad. It was one of the worst quarterbacking performances I've ever seen, especially in the first half. He looked unbelievably bad. It was it's disgusting.
I'm not going to jump games. The answer to Pigtown's question is Daniel Jones. Second, because Daniel Jones touches the ball more than Marcus Williams ever will. Second, the worst quarterback performance I saw all week came absolutely from either Jared Goff or Mac Jones.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Jared Goff led a comeback in that game. They won that game.
They did. He threw 5 picks.
Yeah,
And he was throwing pop-up. He was throwing infield flies. Anyway, we're moving on.
We'll talk about that game later. But yeah, I mean, last thoughts on this game. Neighbors looked a little bit better today, but I mean, really, since his concussion, he's been really quiet, and their offensive line is abysmal. And I know Daniel Jones is running for his life, but I mean, he was just so bad. And that's really just the lasting. And also Carolina, first win streak, I think, in like 2 or 3 years, first time they won consecutive games, which is embarrassing. What a terrible franchise. Brooks,
I thought maybe Daboll gets fired on the way back, just with how ridiculous their organization is. But it's really not his fault.
Yeah, according to Barletta, the owners come out and say that they're not looking at Daboll at all. I think they're looking more at the front office. And
Good.
Whatever. I don't think it's Daboll's fault. His first year there, he coached a pretty good team, I think. Or he did a pretty good job coaching. I don't know if it was a good team. He made them look like a good team. Anyway, speaking of atrocious, terrible, horrible games and football teams, New England Patriots and Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears put up 3 points in the second quarter. They did not put up any more points the rest of the game. Drake made it and looked good. Caleb Williams threw the ball 30 times for 120 yards. That is not good. They can't get anything going. The Chicago Bears have not scored a touchdown since the Hail Mary against the Manders. And Brian's got 2 thumbs and he wants to talk about Matt Eberflus.
No, I'm just going to cheese dick smile the entire time because both you fuckers are getting pied. And I want to.
Why are we getting pied? You said first coach
why
fired.
are you making shit up?
Well, it was my bet, but I thought it was reciprocal,
And
so that you
you
guys had to
lost.
get pied.
For what? You lost. the
Eberflus
bet.
is getting fired either today or tomorrow.
I would
or
agree.
2 weeks from now.
Third coach fired. That wasn't the bet.
I would agree. The only thing that you bet was I'll take a pie to the face if Matt Eberflus is not the first one that's fired. That was the only bet.
Honestly, the worst part is that your take was right and you just presented it incorrectly. You just said, I'm going to take a pie to the face if he's the first coach fired. You should have just said he's going to get fired this year.
You just didn't get
You'd
the
have been
timing
right.
right.
You semantics assholes. I hate you guys. All right.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots have a nothing defense, I would say, in comparison to the rest of the league. I think it's bottom 10, and Chicago can't move the ball. I mean, their offensive line's a complete mess. The guys running the ship are a complete mess, and Caleb Williams does not look good. And I know he's in a rough situation there in Chicago, but he's still got Rome Odunze and DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift and all kinds of weapons, and he's just not doing anything with them. It's just not looking good. Do you guys have anything on Chicago or New England? Do you think this is more of an indictment of either of these teams, or you think this game doesn't really matter because these teams are bad?
Well, I'm gonna side with you on that one, but I'm gonna let Brooks go ahead first.
Yeah, I mean, I side with you here. I mean, Chicago looks. I'm with all you guys here. Eberflus is done either today, tomorrow, or in the coming week or two. But I mean, the last couple of weeks, New England hasn't. I mean, not that they're playing the greatest competition in the world, but they haven't looked like terrible. And like I said, Drake May has been semi-serviceable with a no offensive line and making some plays in some clutch situations. Like I say clutch, right? They're not going to the playoffs, but to keep them in games and send them to overtime and whatever else. So I've got more hope if I'm a New England fan than I'm a Chicago fan right now.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Especially looking towards the future. I mean, look, Chicago gets a new infrastructure in their coaching and front office maybe, but look, it's tough to rebuild an organization in 1 year, and maybe Washington did it, and maybe we haven't seen the rest of the season yet. Maybe they haven't either.
You know, the Ryan Ripken guys did have a take on this that I didn't think of or remember that I agree with. I think when they took and I didn't agree with this at the time because in the offseason I was like, all right, Eberflus hasn't had shit there to work with. And I mean, now he's got all this talent there, even though their line kind of sucks and whatever else. And they're not doing, and they're underperforming, and they're not doing shit for all intents and purposes. So I think it's time. Now he's actually proven that he's not ready there. But when they went and got Caleb Williams, I mean, they probably should have just started fresh with a new head coach instead of drafting Caleb Williams, have him spend a year with a staff. Now he's gonna have to start all over again next year with a new staff again. You're just like delaying him a year now. So,
well,
yeah.
And Brooks, I'm going to disagree with you only for one reason that you probably don't even know is that they already told Caleb Williams at the combine they were going to draft him. They were giving him the playbook at the combine. This is factual.
Yeah, so I know that.
They had 6 months of prep for him prior to the season starting.
I know that, but they should have. If they were going to draft him, and we all knew they were going to, including them, it seemed like they should have just fired Eberflus after last season and started fresh with a new head coach and your new number 1 overall pick quarterback who's supposed to be taking over the organization instead of him setting himself back a year now to start with a new guy.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020 though. Maybe they believed in Eberflus.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and Eberflus is probably the one fucking feeding him the plays in the combine in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know, but
and
Brooks
Ryan
is
Pace
saying,
is there as well.
Brooks is saying Eberflus should have been fired before all of that shit.
I don't disagree with you guys at all. Yeah. I'm really not trying to play devil's advocate on this one.
It seems like you are.
I'm really not. And I want Eberflus to get, I shouldn't say that. I don't want anyone to ever lose their job, but I don't think Eberflus is the right person for the job.
I agree.
And I disagree. And like I said, like Dustin's right. I didn't say this at the beginning of the year. I'm like, all right, he's still got to prove that he's not. Like he hasn't had shit to work with, and now he has had shit this year, and it's been bad. Yeah. So I'm on agreement with Ryan, and I'm like, yeah, it's time. But I like it in it's 2020, right? You look back, hindsight's 2020. It's like, man, would have been a whole lot easier if he just started fresh with both coach and quarterback instead of wasting a year. Now he's got to learn a whole new system.
Well, you also have to start with new coach, new quarterback, and most likely new GM.
Probably.
Yeah. Ryan Poles not making it past this year, I don't think.
I don't like playing revisionist history or even being right in this situation. I really don't.
Maybe not GM because, I mean, he's bringing in the talent. I mean, I wonder if they'll.
So is Joe Douglas. So is
Probably.
Joe. And I'm not trying to be funny. So is
Yeah.
Joe Douglas with the Jets. There's talent all over the field. They're still losing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's because they
Yeah,
succumb
you're right.
to, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I know I'm an Aaron Rodgers hater. You succumb to Aaron Rodgers, let him basically run your franchise. What are you doing? Same thing is going on in a couple of different places. See Carolina, where you let the owner pick your quarterback, you're going to lose the franchise. And that's what's happening. And heads will end up rolling. The owners don't fire themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't really even know why we talked so much about this game. These two teams suck.
Forgot with the dumpster fire. We can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. Next game of the day on our docket was Chiefs Broncos. I watched quite a bit of this game. I have written down in the notes, is it time for me to start apologizing to Bo Nix? And my answer is not yet, but I'm thinking about it. What did you guys see in this game in particular, and how do the Chiefs keep winning these stupid games in dumb ways?
Go ahead, Brian.
I'm going to tell you exactly why they keep winning these games. There are two things. First one begins with an M, ends with a Holmes. The second one begins with an R and ends with an Eid. Andy Reid, after the blocked field goal, looked like he had just ordered a cheeseburger at a McDonald's. He didn't have any emotion. That man knows how to win.
Yeah, it was like he expected it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of an indictment. I was watching McAfee go because I was kind of interested in this because that was a 30-some yard field goal. That was going to more with Will Lutz, who's a good kicker. That was going to win the game. I was like, all right, here it is. When he broke down what the center did on that play, he might lose his job, or I don't even know. Like, he literally, it was on him. That's why the reason they lost that game. But on another note, like stupid shit like that not stupid shit like that, but stuff like that happens because like the Chiefs care about small things like special teams, and they practice it a lot. And this is stealing this take from Pat McAfee as well, because I agree with it. I mean, good teams practice little things and they put an emphasis on it, and special teams is one of those things. So I mean, stuff like this probably doesn't happen if you take special teams practice for granted. So.
Yeah. Dusty, before you begin and to expound on Brooks's point, the Ravens are a absolute model. Now, maybe a lower level model of what the Chiefs do, but John Harbaugh, special teams coordinator, I still remember Will Hill taking that kickback from the Browns and winning an OT. I remember it vividly. We do focus on the special thing or the small things. Now we might not focus on time management or how to challenge, but
we've never focused on that stuff. It's fine. I think that Bo Nix played better, and he really, for the last couple of weeks, he's played better than I've given him credit for. Cortland Sutton and him seem to have a good rapport. Cortland Sutton had a pretty good game again, but yeah, to your guys' point, I mean, like, the Broncos offensive line could have just not even been there, and the same thing would have happened. When the Chiefs just barreling down and blocking that field goal, like, they didn't do anything. It's just like, what were you thinking? What was like, what's the special teams coordinator? Like, Sean Payton's got to be looking at the special teams coordinator like, what the fuck were they doing? Like,
yeah,
right. You're muted.
I don't get it. And it's something that I'm kind of worried about biting the Ravens in the ass at some point this year, because it's been a little bit sloppy at times. So
yeah, I hope you're wrong, Brooks.
Me too.
And there were 3 guys that could have blocked that kick for the Chiefs. 3. And that leads to my first that's a shame, which is the Steelers fake punt and that guy being so fucking openly nude. And then the ball hit him, I think, right in the belly button, and he dropped it.
Great play call. Like, everything.
Hell yeah.
Everything was executed perfectly besides the catch.
The special teams coordinator is physically standing next to the receiver. I'm in that position. He's on the sideline. If you look at the play, and I'm getting louder to the microphone, he's standing there and he's like, this is going to happen. And it did.
That guy's awesome, by the way. I can't believe he's been there for as long as he has.
I watched him get acne on the sideline right after the play.
And apparently he can't like lift his left or right shoulder up like over his head because he tore his labrum a couple years ago.
He's John McCain. He's John McCain.
Yeah. He's like, they were in the middle of a playoff run. I forget what it was, but he was just like, had some excuse why he wasn't going to go get the surgery on it. He's like, I'll just let it heal the rest of the season. Like, I can't take time to go do that. We're in the middle of a season or something like that. And then just never got it fixed. And I can't lift his shoulder above his head or something.
That's play stupid games, win stupid prizes there, wouldn't it?
Get hard, play hard.
His special teams has been all over national television this year. So they're making some plays.
He's the guy at the combine that does 40.
Two things I noticed from this game. Denver scored 14 points in the game, and all 14 of them were in the second quarter. Can't have 3 scoreless quarters. Don't care don't care who you're playing. Don't care what the situation is. Just can't do it. Especially if you want to beat the Chiefs, you got to put up more points, especially than just 14. And the second thing, Travis Kelce redemption tour is what I have written down. Last 3 games, 40 targets, 32 catches, 254 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So they were keeping him on ice at the beginning of the season, or maybe they just had a different plan, but he's been whooping ass as of late. And really, I pulled the last 3, but last 6 games, if you look at it, he was starting to pick it up as well. So he's really starting to put up some numbers, and they need him to because they just don't have any of their weapons healthy on offense. Yeah, they're 9-0. Broncos really could have used this win now that the Chargers are 6-3 in that division. Now Denver goes back to 5-5. They fall to 3rd in that division. They don't have to worry about Oakland or Vegas. Sorry, I always say that. They don't have to worry about them, but they are going to have to worry about Cincinnati and Indianapolis, and if Miami wins tonight, some other teams going into that try to get that last AFC playoff spot. Next game. Atlanta, New Orleans. I watched too much of this game. Derek Carr made 2 really, really good throws to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who I didn't know was on the Saints until just this week.
Last week, I think.
Yeah, he had 2 huge plays and then ended up catching his second touchdown. Kirk Cousins looked horrible in this game. Bijan Robinson looked amazing. Yeah, I don't really have much else other than I've been saying all year, I think Atlanta's kind of fraudulent, and I think New Orleans is horrible, and they just beat them. So do you guys have anything on this game? What did you see from Atlanta in particular, Brian?
Well, I have a question first for you, Dusty, directly.
Okay.
What are you wearing when you wake up at 9:30 in the morning to watch a Munich game? And then you watch too much of a terrible game between the Falcons and Saints. What are you wearing?
I just sit on the couch and watch football all day. That's just all.
What are you wearing?
T-shirt and shorts. What do you? I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I'm wearing a onesie.
You think I'm wearing like a night shirt, like a shirt that goes all the way down to my ankles or something?
Those are called moo-moos. Don't offend my mother.
Grandpa Joe from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm wearing his outfit from the beginning.
I'm actually kind of picturing you like Randy Quaid from Christmas Vacation. Shitter's full.
Yeah. No, I just kind of wake up at whenever I wake up. I'm not going to set an alarm for the London game, but I woke up. I watched maybe the last 3 quarters of it in bed, and then I went downstairs, made some breakfast, and then watched the rest of the games.
People don't talk about it enough, but Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Whoa! What was that? One more time.
Oh, I couldn't get it out. I think I got it out the second time.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Charlie's family is a bunch of bums.
Yeah.
For not getting out of the fucking bed, and then they decided, oh, we can walk now. You got to go ticket. I'll go.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I don't know how we got from Falcons Saints to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but we got there.
This is why I love this podcast, because we're just fucking around with each other. But in regards to the Saints and the Falcons, Kirk Cousins looked like dog shit.
Yeah.
The Saints got home a lot to Kirk Cousins, a ton. And also, this is probably the epitome of the coach bump that we talk about all the time.
Yep.
That man, his last name is Rizzi, Rizzi, I think. Hope I'm saying that right. He looked like Jim Valvano when he won that game yesterday. Now, Jim Valvano won a national championship with NC State. Mr. Rizzi won a Week 10 game, and he celebrated like it was 1999, and he was Prince wearing my suit coat.
Well, Mr. Rizzi also apologized in his post-game press conference for clogging up the visitors' coach's bathroom before he went out to that game.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Hysterical.
Yeah, it's awesome. That he said that to the media after the game was so funny because you don't have to say anything. Nobody's ever going to find out.
My new favorite coach.
Yeah,
he might be. Then he's up there right now. Okay,
I mean, he looked like a cartoon character on the sideline with steam coming out of his ears when they made a defensive play at one point. Like all the defensive players are coming up to him, and he's just standing there like this. His face is as red as Brooks's right now. And he's just going crazy, steam coming out of his freaking ears.
You're 100% right, Dusty. And I mean, that man looked like he had horns that were about to grow out of his head.
Yeah.
And or like Roadrunner. Like when they won the game, he was running around tackling everybody, touching everybody. He pulled some guy aside who's 2 times the size of him. He's just like touching him on the shoulders. Holy fuck. It was awesome.
I mean, picked out. At least he admitted it, you know. I mean, Lamar was like, "Oh, I had to go in and get IVs for cramps." It's like, "Nah, you shit yourself, dude. We all know. we all know what that feels. We're not blaming you for it. We're not. We're just saying we all know. We all know. We've all been there. One thing I do want to talk about in this game, Atlanta. I mean, no, I don't think New Orleans won this game by any means. I mean, Younghoe Koo lost or missed 3 field goals in this game.
Yeah.
And if he makes those, they win. So if he makes 2 of those, they win. 2 of the 3. Yeah. So, and I mean, not only does he miss them, like you give him that field position as well. 20-17, New Orleans won this game. So, in my mind here, I'm not giving any credit here to New Orleans. I think Atlanta gave him this game.
Yeah, and if you're Atlanta, especially against a team in New Orleans that was 31st, I guess, against the pass coming into this game, and just traded their best player in their secondary, and Marshawn Lattimore, you should be putting up more points. You should be getting further down into the red zone. You can't put, obviously, you know, Younghoe Koo makes those kicks. It's a different game, but you got to put the ball in the end zone, man. You don't want to put it in the hands of the kicker or in the foot of the kicker. And I just think your offense needs to play better. And I just think it comes down to Kirk Cousins didn't really have a very good game. And he's been playing well this season. So I'm going to give him credit where credit is due, but in this game, he did not look good.
I don't want to skew negative all the time. The Saints won this game because of resiliency. Now, did Younghoe Koo blow it? Yes, but if the Saints don't keep pushing forward, they don't win the game. They could absolutely fold if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I hate now, and this isn't about us. We always want to find out who to blame right away. There's some times where you just fucking find a way to win. The Saints found a way to win. I mean, if you're a secondary guy and you lose your team captain and Marshawn Lattimore, I mean, you got to be deflated.
Yeah,
they stepped up.
Played with their hand you're dealt, right? I mean, they didn't choose to be dealt that the other team's kicker missed 3 field goals that day, but they're like, I mean, like you said, Brian, I mean, they could have given up earlier in that game before all that shit happened. So
they could have folded. They could absolutely fold it. And Younghoe Koo cannot blame the wind, not that he has, in an indoor dome, and your ball's hooking right and racking the double doink or whatever the fuck you.
He's actually got the best field goal percentage in the league in the last like 5 years or something like that. So
yeah, and you know how I feel about Asians, and me talking shitty about an Asian is very tough.
Yeah, it's almost like how I feel about Canadians.
It's almost like I feel about.
All right, let's move on to Buffalo, Indy. Buffalo 8-2. Good for them. I mean, I knew that they were winning games and they got hot, but I looked at their record at the standings this morning. I was like, holy shit, Buffalo's only lost 2 games. They were both early in the season, if I'm not mistaken. One of them's to us. We kicked the shit out of them. But yeah, I mean, look, Joe Flacco threw picks on the first 2 drives of the game. That's not going to make Indy feel very good. Although Indy's defense was pretty decent. They were able to force turnovers as well. Just, not Flacco's best game. He looks like he's either there or he's not there. And he got there in the second half. He looked a lot better, but it just wasn't enough after giving up those plays in the first half. Jonathan Taylor looked really, really good in the first half and then kind of got stalwart in the second half. And credit to Buffalo. They were missing Amari Cooper and Dalton Kincaid got hurt in this game, and Keon Coleman didn't play in this game. So they're missing a lot of their offensive weapons, and Josh Allen still puts up 30 points. He's just slinging it. What did you guys think about this game in particular? Did you see anything? Have any thoughts on either side? Brooks, go first.
Yeah, my thought is that I think it's time for the Colts to blow it up in terms of some of the stuff that they've spent money on. They've paid everybody on this freaking team.
Yeah.
And it's just not that I really care about if the Colts, like I live in Indy. Do I care if the Colts win or not? No. But I mean, there's a lot of bullshit drama that comes out of some like this organization that I'm just like, man, this is bad. And I know Taylor's there, but I mean, apparently all that stuff with him holding out last year really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And then Kenny Moore came out and said today or yesterday after the game that people aren't working as hard as they should be and all this different stuff. People 2 years ago before Frank Reich got fired were showing up late to meetings. Like and that team is not very different now than it was then. So it's a lot of the same people. So it's my confidence in the Colts is definitely faltering a little bit. I still think you got to stay with Flacco though. Sorry to say it, but he's played two good teams the last 2 weeks and just didn't play well. So 3 picks, I think 3 or 4, 3.
It was 3. 2 of them were in the first 2 drives of the game, though.
First play of the game, I believe.
Yeah. Brian, you got anything?
I do. I agree with Brooks in terms of blowing it up. It just seems like a dysfunctional organization.
That's what it seems like.
Plus, you have quality players at the premium positions. You have Quentin Nelson, who is a stud. You have Michael Pittman. I'm not going to say he's as good as Quentin Nelson. He is a very serviceable wide receiver. You have a couple good defensive players, and you also have one of the best fan bases around to support you. And if your fan base isn't around you, you're done. You're dead.
Yeah.
Blow it up. And Shane Steichen, have fun.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm not going to blame this on Shane Steichen quite yet because these are a lot of the same players that were here before. I think Ballard could be the next one to go, man. And I think it's getting, it seems like it's starting to get a little loud in Indy for Ballard to go because they're getting, I think I saw it's been like 7 straight seasons where they haven't made a move at the trade deadline or something like that.
Yeah.
Between that, they've paid a bunch of people to be a 4-6 team right now. They have DeForest Buckner. I know he's out for the year. I just don't know. I don't know what the issue is. So
yeah,
it's head scratching a little bit.
I agree with you. I'm leaning more on the side of blaming Ballard than I am Steichen at this point. I do think Steichen has had flashes of showing at least that he's a capable offensive play caller. Not sure as a head coach yet, but I think it's kind of hard based on the QB carousel and what he's been thrown into. But yeah, in terms of Ballard, look, it looks like as of now, at least, and this is still early, it looks like they kind of missed on Anthony Richardson. And if you miss on a quarterback, it sets your franchise back a little bit. Also, they paid Darius Shaquille Leonard a couple years ago, and that's not his fault, but he got hurt. And they let Bobby Okereke walk, and now Bobby Okereke is playing really great defense for the New York Giants on a way smaller contract. And I think they're still paying Darius Shaquille Leonard, if I'm not mistaken. They lose Jonathan. They lose like Brooks said, DeForest Buckner for the season. That hurts, but
He's a leader
look,
too.
yeah, it's just
Supposed to be the leader.
it's really tough when your GM, who is supposed to be a world beater and supposed to be like, oh, this guy gets all these kind of talent. Yeah, you miss on a quarterback, man. Maybe it's just not your time. Bry.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Brooksy. Go ahead, Brooksy. You got it.
And my other thing, and I think that's I don't even know if this is true or not. I should look into this more before I make this my that's a shame. But I think some of the people working at Lucas Oil this weekend were taking signs away that were saying like free AR5 and stuff like that, because a lot of the Colts fan base, they were basically signs that said that, and like we're no longer retirement place for quarterbacks to go, so they don't want Flacco to be playing anymore. But I mean, this is a little bit different of a situation when the guy's lost the entire locker room. If he's gained it back, go for it, whatever. Or if you guys are going to be dog shit the rest of the year, put him in there and try to figure out how to play some football. But yeah, it's rough.
This screams the coaching situation. We talked about culture with football teams a lot. This screams like this man was meant to be a coordinator and not a head coach. See Robert Saleh.
Steve Spagnuolo.
Honestly, exactly. And who might be up for a coaching job randomly out of left field because he's got a great defense right now. And I hope whoever signs them rethinks it, because Steve Spagnuolo was a great coordinator. Just like Wade Phillips was a great coordinator, not a great head coach. When you're a head coach, now you have to answer to everybody. You have media responsibilities. You can't just be in a room the entire time. See why Chip Kelly left being a head coach at UCLA to become the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. I mean,
I'm gonna Big Down said Salah might not have been the problem, and I might agree with him there
now.
As well, because I mean they look worse now, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with Big Ten. I agree with him.
Maybe the team and just New York in general was not the best fit just for Salah in general with that ownership and everything there. I think he could potentially be successful elsewhere, but we'll see.
Salah would be a killer coach in a non-big city. So, for example, and I don't want anyone to get fired. Arizona. That was the first name that came to mind.
I don't know if they're going to move on.
They're not moving on from anybody. They're in first place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like a smaller city, I guess, what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last thing on this game, on the other side of things, Josh Allen continues to be an elite rushing quarterback. Josh Allen has now tied O.J. Simpson for the second most rushing touchdowns in Bills franchise history. First would be Thurman Thomas. And Josh Allen's only 8 behind him, so he could reach it realistically this year, probably more likely next year. But that's just a credit to Josh Allen, who I think's only been in the league for like 7 years at this point, already passing 2 Hall of Famers, or getting close to 2 Hall of Famers. I'm
going to go trivia on you guys, but I want to see how good your memory is, because it was mentioned on this podcast. Who was Thurman Thomas's backup running back in college?
Can you tell me where he went to college? That might help.
Figure it out. You're a smart man.
I don't know it. It's before my time.
Is it shit?
Thomas Thurman?
Earl Campbell?
Earl Campbell, my ass. Earl Campbell went to Texas.
Earl Wilkerson?
No, there's a movie about this, isn't it?
No, it's called a documentary. It's called a 30 for 30. And anyway, Barry Switzer, who coached at Oklahoma, specifically told his defense when he was coaching at Oklahoma not to hurt Thurman Thomas when they played Oklahoma State, because their backup running back was better than Thurman Thomas, and it was Barry Sanders.
I mean, that's all-time nightmare backfields in NCAA history. It's got to be.
They're both Hall of Famers. Can you imagine that? Holy fuck.
Who's your favorite Colts quarterback? Matt Ryan, Phil Rivers, or Joe Flacco? Specifically on the Colts.
Jeff George.
All right, let's move on from this game. We spent too much time on it. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I believe this was at Tampa Bay. I'm thinking they're the home team here. Anyway, I watched most of this game too, and I still don't know. Speaking of a team missing 3 field goals, but actually still winning the game, Jake Moody missed 3 field goals, looked terrible, but as time expired, he hit the game winner. He was 3 out of 6. McCaffrey returned, had a quiet game, had like 12 fantasy points for me, I think, which is whatever. It's fine. I'm not worried about it because it was his first game back. 39 rushing yards, had a couple catches, looked good. He had a nice little wheel route and made a nice move to make a guy miss. I just have written down that Purdy is really having like an understatedly good season and really has for the last 2 years. But I think specifically this year with all of their injuries, I think he's really stepped up and looked good. And even like running the ball, like if they get into 3rd and 5 and everyone's covered, it feels like he's able to scramble and get those yards, which I did not expect out of him. And also on the Bucs side, I just think they have such little room for error moving forward now. 4-6. I know the Falcons lost this week too, but I think they basically have to win that division to get into the playoffs, and they're going to have to really start putting some wins together. I think they'll probably have to get to 10 wins to even have a chance. What did you guys see in this game? Any thoughts on what I've said or anything you have? Brian, you got something?
One, Baker Mayfield, I thought played out of his ass.
Yeah, I do
Him
too.
stiff arming Nick Bosa to make that one play.
Yep.
I know they lost the game. Second, that's a shame. Deebo Samuel.
Oh,
Do not
yeah.
shove your fucking long snapper.
Yeah, grabbed his throat too.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
What's wrong with you? That's
So
your
after
teammate.
like the 2nd or 3rd miss that they had, the long snapper and the kicker were coming off the field, and Debo's like screaming at him. The long snapper's like, "Dude, fuck off!" And Debo grabs him by the throat and fucking pushes him back. I know we all like Debo, but dude, you can't be doing that to your teammate, especially now on the sideline. If you want to do that kind of shit, do it behind closed doors. Don't.
And I get like you're in the throes, you're in the trenches, right? You're in the throes of battle. You're pissed off. It's your livelihood. I get it. Don't grab a man by the throat.
No.
And then when you grab a man by the throat, don't turn your back and not take the criticism that the man's trying to give you.
Yeah.
Act like a real man. Stand up and look him in the face. And I've lost respect for Deebo Samuel on that one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's
a personal thing, not a football thing.
Yeah, that's a total bullshit to do, especially to one of your teammates. Like
go
I
sit
said,
in your
if you
fucking sauna,
Yeah.
you fucking clown, and go
All
get
right.
pneumonia
All
again.
All right. You're good. Brooks, what you got?
Yeah, I actually didn't see that. That's bullshit. Even if they are all the long snappers' fault, like, don't do that. Don't do that on camera. If you want to do that, get your ass kicked by the long snapper afterwards. Go ahead and try.
The long snapper would kick his ass. That guy's probably got hay bale strength.
But yeah, it's I gotta give props like I have been all season to Baker Mayfield for how well he's playing, especially how he's played the last couple of weeks without his big name targets.
Yeah, their leading receiver yesterday had 39 yards. Rashad White, running back, by the way.
That's insane. Insane to even think about.
Guy's doing everything he can. Doesn't seem to be opening his mouth to the public and in these interviews and stuff like that, because I'm not saying he isn't, but I haven't seen anything. So yeah, I got to keep giving props to Baker Mayfield for the way he's playing and trying to keep this season alive for him. So other than that, yeah.
Breaking news from Schefter: Colts head coach Shane Steichen has told reporters that Joe Flacco will start Sunday versus the Jets.
Yeah.
So Anthony Richardson going to have to wait at least one more week, or maybe till halftime if Flacco starts like he did last week. Sorry for cutting you off, Brooks.
Yeah, no, you're good. Other than that, McCaffrey had I watched some of that game. McCaffrey looked good. Like, he didn't have any guardrails on him. It seemed like they gave him full. They didn't put him on a snap count or anything like that.
No.
So maybe they're on their way to getting right, because Jennings looks good. Jennings looks real good.
Pearsall looked good too. He had a nice long touchdown catch at the beginning of the game too.
Yeah. So watch out for San Francisco, maybe getting a little bit healthy and coming alive towards the second half of the season. So we'll see. We'll see on that.
Next game, Washington, Pittsburgh. This was a real controversial game, especially in our group chat, and I think online as well. Washington ends up losing. It seems like Pittsburgh always loses the first half and then comes back and wins the game in the second half. Pittsburgh now 7-2, Washington now 7-3. Russell Wilson made in a classic old school Russell Wilson throw to Mike Williams at the end of this game with like 2.5 minutes left. That was just unbelievable. He was getting pressured. He was about to take a huge hit, just threw it up and dropped it right in the bucket. And it was a great catch too. No, not taking anything away from Mike Williams. But like it just looked like vintage Russ. Not that I think that he played all that great in the game, although he did have moments where he looked like he could kind of dial it up when he needed to. Daniels looks good. It seems like, a couple more years under his belt, he probably wins this game, but just a couple things didn't go their way. And really, like the first thing we need to talk about, just because it was a huge thing, was the Zach Ertz play. Do we think? Okay, so regardless of whether you think he got there or not, they need to respot the ball, right? Because they spotted it a yard back from the line, and he's clearly, if anything, a quarter of a yard short, maybe like a foot. So, I mean, they just say play stands and they give the other team the ball and they don't move it. Move it and respot it. It's so archaic and it's so stupid. And I have another that's a shame bullshit thing from this game. But let's go up to you first. Brooks, what did you think? And then Brian, we'll let Brian cook for a second on this.
Yeah, the archaic stuff. They tried to change this, I think, in preseason. They brought out that technology, which ended up being terrible and not working.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think they'll figure out how to do it. But I mean, with how bad it was in the preseason. But yeah, I don't have a ton on this play. But yeah, I mean, the refs need to figure that shit out, and the just how they do first downs and 10-yard spots with a chain is super archaic and needs to get figured out before next year.
I kind of dig the chain a little bit. It kind of gives me some nostalgia.
I keep it, but don't use it. Like use it as like a. It stays.
What do you want to use it as? A fucking prop? Like it's a goddamn minor league baseball game? I like seeing 78-year-old men run out there with chains and they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
No, they'll keep it. They'll keep it so fans in the stands know where the first down is and everything like that. But I mean, in terms of like doing official measurements, you shouldn't be using it.
No. Brian, you got some stuff on this. What do you want to say?
Poop. Pure poop.
Yeah.
I mean, you want me to go into intricacies about the game?
No, you don't have to. He always freezes. He always freezes at the best points.
I know.
All right. Hi, I'm back.
You're good.
The Redskins absolutely got shafted, and the Redskins also
shafted
themselves.
Whoa, racist.
Yeah.
Renton racist.
They're
right here.
They're the commies.
The commies. Or the football team. We'll accept that.
All right. So anyway.
You can start calling them the Bullets.
The team that wears fucking maroon around here. All right. In Landover. They also fisted themselves. They dropped a pass in the end zone at one point. That was stupid.
Yeah. Noah Brown, I believe it was, who caught the Hail Mary, by the way.
Great for them. They're going to be just fine. In the grand scheme of things, they're going to be just fine.
I don't know. So
are we getting a little worried about the Steelers?
No.
As Ravens fans?
No.
I want to play them. I want to see it.
So do I.
See the matchup.
So do I. But the more and more I see them, I'm starting to believe a little bit more. I was telling. So we'll have Chuck on this week, or Charlie, whatever you refer to him as our resident Pittsburgh fan. But I was texting him. I was like, the more and more I watch with Russell Wilson over the past 3 or 4 games, I guess they look so much better on offense now. Their defense is going to be good as long as they don't get injured all over the place, which can happen. But their defense is going to remain good, which is going to play the rest of the year. Their offensive line is looking better, and Russ just looks like he makes that offense run so much more smooth. Because before that, I'm like, all right, this is going to be like the 10-0 Steelers team that was last year, or 2 or 3 years ago, and we were all like, yeah, they're 10-0, but they haven't played anybody, and we can all see that they're not very good. And they're probably not going to win a game in the playoffs. And that's what we felt the last couple of years, even if they did make the playoffs. But the more and more I watch this year, I'm like, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like they're coming alive a little bit, which is scary, but we'll see.
Dusty, go ahead, man.
We'll see when we play them.
I mean, really what stuck out to me is that Pittsburgh their game plan was to run the ball, and they just did not abandon it. Najee Harris only had 2.5 yards a carry in this game, 21 carries for 53 yards. Jaylen Warren ran the ball 14 times. They ran the ball 43 times and only threw the ball 29. I think they were really committed to running the ball, and they were really committed to keeping Jaden Daniels off the field as much as possible and giving their defense as much time as they needed. And they weren't running the ball that well, and they stuck to it. And towards the end of the game, it got a little bit better. And that's, I think, part of the reason they were able to close this one out. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little worried about it, but I do want to see us play them, and I believe we play them this week, right? So
we play them this week.
Maybe a conference, right?
Yeah, or a conference game, or like this is the first team. This was also the first team they played with a competent quarterback, and he's a rookie. So
don't call him competent then. And also, I want to see the Steelers in the back end of the season. They play the Ravens, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and then they play the Chiefs at some point or another. And they're going to get their ass whipped because the AFC North naturally whips your ass, including the Ravens, by the way. I'm not trying to be funny. I respect the Steelers so much.
Yeah, I don't think we've beat the Steelers in 2 years.
We haven't really. But we've also been so far ahead of them that it doesn't fucking matter that we lost.
Agreed.
And I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm shitting on them. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they are shadow gaming it. They have 4 great players. TJ Watt is without a doubt number 1. Cam Hayward is a stalwart. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the only freshman to ever start for Nick Saban at Alabama as a freshman. And their 4th best player currently wears a headset like I am right now.
Oh, man. I can't wait to see Derrick Henry just destroy Patrick Queen all day.
I sincerely think we beat the Steelers by 10 points next week. Yeah. And I don't say that because I'm a Ravens fan. I think it's because they haven't been battle tested yet.
Well, they also lost Alex Highsmith in this game, and he was walking around on crutches after the game, and he's a huge part of their pass defense or pass rush.
And he's only been back for like 3 weeks now, too, and that made a huge difference. So that's going to be huge.
And he was in the backfield a lot.
Yeah, he had at least a sack in this game. I remember. That's a shame for the day, and my second really for this game. Jerzon Johnny Newton. It's the clearest cut ever. Let's go out there. It's 4th and 1. We're on our own side of the field. We're going to try and draw them off sides, but we're not actually going to run a play. And the very first hard count, Johnny Newton's across the line and the game's over. What are you doing, man? Like, they're not running a play. What are you doing? Also, the whole defense and the defensive coordinator needs to be saying to each other and communicating, don't fucking jump, because they're not running a play. There's no chance they're running a play.
Yep.
What are you doing, man? I know he's a rookie and he's going to learn, but like, come on, man. That's day one shit. I don't even care if you're a rookie. You should have enough football experience to know that that's ridiculous. That's not.
That's a shame is Wander Franco.
I had that.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm just
going to leave it there. I don't think we need to even go into anymore.
Yeah, let's just stop saying that guy's name because he's the biggest piece of shit. Fuck that guy. Okay. I mean, anything else on this? We'll talk more Steelers later in the week. Lasting thought for me on this game, Washington goes down to 7-3, and now they're tied with the Eagles, and they play each other on Thursday night, Philadelphia and Washington. So really watch out. This is a big spot of the season for Washington. Could go from 7-2 to 7-4 real quick, or they could take control of the division and crown themselves as the new kings. For the moment. So really interested to see what happens. And it sucks that game's on Thursday night, but I'm going to have similar vibes to Ravens-Bengals last week on that one.
It's going to be a real good game, I think. Yeah, Eagles are playing good.
Yeah,
Eagles are playing real good.
Yeah. And we'll get into the Eagles here in a second, but Yeah, let's go just quickly in this game because
Yeah,
this game sucked. Minnesota, Jacksonville. Mac Jones started in this game, and apparently he will be starting for the next couple of weeks. I guess Trevor Lawrence is hurt. I don't know if he's hurt or if they just don't want to watch Doug Peterson ruin his career anymore. Not 100% sure what's going on there, but Minnesota didn't score a touchdown in this game and still won and covered, by the way. Sam Darnold threw 3 picks. TJ Hawkinson looked pretty good. 8 catches, 72 yards in his second game back. The Jacksonville Jaguars scored 7 in the first quarter. Couldn't do anything on offense the rest of the game. Really, there was no offense on either side of this game.
Can we talk about the biggest thing that happened in this game? What the fuck were the Jacksonville Jaguars helmets? Someone talk to me.
Oh, were they like the white helmets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't hate them.
You definitely wore a white tuxedo jacket with a black tuxedo set of pants to your prom, didn't you?
I did not. No, I'm fully on board against that person.
Thank you.
Even if you're listening to this show, what are you doing, man? Come on.
Don't wear white and black at your prom.
Look, let's just move on. This game sucked, and nobody wants to hear or talk about it.
Jackpot. Thank you.
Minnesota 7-2. Good for them. Another game that sucked, and we don't have to talk too much about. Tennessee versus the Chargers in LA. Will Levis came back. It didn't matter. He's bad. Justin Herbert didn't really have to do much. They leaned on Dobbins and the returning Gus Edwards to take care of business against this bad team. Calvin Ridley had 2 touchdowns, so good for him. Biggest note on this game, the Chargers. The Chargers have played 9 football games, and they have yet to allow 21 points to any opponent during this season. The most points they've given up is 20, and that was only 1 time. So Chargers defense, legit.
This is the Jim Harbaugh special.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive so far. I think the Chargers are going to be good for a while now with Jim Harbaugh at the helm. I just don't think – I think his style, like the Harbaugh style of football just plays. It's just big on big, smash mouth football. It's just always going to play at some point as long as you can get to the postseason and get to cold weather. And we're supposed to be – Harbaughs are supposed to be like a disciplined form of football. And I mean, that's what the Chargers have lacked for a long time here. So I think the Chargers are going to be good for a little while now. So as long as they keep people there.
I agree with you, Brooksy. And I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to be funny when I say
offensive lineman, remember? I mean, we talked about this last week and in the draft, our snake draft last week. He said, "Give me the offensive lineman.
give me the Hogs. Give me the Hogs." Now, what I'll say about Jim Harbaugh, what makes John Harbaugh different from his brother is John Harbaugh lasts. Jim Harbaugh is an acquired taste, and that taste lasts for only but so long. He is the equivalent, and I'm going to make a very, very random reference. He is lima beans. You like him, you like him, you like him, you hate him. So he'll be there for 4 years, and then see you later. Same thing happened at San Diego State. Same thing happened at Stanford. Same thing happened in Michigan. All right, whatever Michigan's, whatever the guy was, wearing, costumes, being Bobby Valentine. See ya. And then he did it in San Fran. He's going to do it again in LA. But for the 4 or 5 years that he is there, he's going to kick ass.
Yeah, I think it's mostly him and ownership too. I think he always has respect from his players, no matter what, for the most part. Even Kaepernick still loves him. I mean, that guy would go to bat for him no matter what. So his players always got his back.
I think Trent Baalke, who is currently in Jacksonville and probably won't be in Jacksonville long. He was in San Fran with Harbaugh, and apparently they wanted to kill each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, same thing happened with like Michigan and the AD there because he started getting a bunch of shit for not beating Ohio State for a while. Like, I mean, again, I got a ton of respect for a guy that, like, if your players are willing to fight for you, that's a guy that you should keep putting as a leader in your locker room. So
he's a culture changer. Mm-hmm. He is our football version of Buck Showalter, but with a championship.
Don't disagree with anything you guys said, except lima beans are always shitty. They've never been good.
Fair point. I'm not a lima bean guy either. So.
Let's move on. Jets Cardinals is the next game I want to talk about. Kyler Murray versus Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. We keep beating on a drum. The Jets scored 6 points in this game. They got absolutely manhandled. Their defense looks worse. Their offense looks the same, which is bad. They were trying to pelt Devontae Adams with targets. He had 13 targets, only caught 6 balls for 31 yards. They just look all kinds of out of sorts. They have no time.
Go back to the cave. Go back to the cave.
I mean, they're not good. Kyler was almost perfect. He was 22 of 24. Didn't have to do much. He only had 1 touchdown throwing, but he had 2 running, and he looked excellent with his legs. And the Cards are in first place of the NFC West. And honestly, we should be giving the flowers Cardinals more than we should be shitting on the Jets. We know the Jets are bad. We know it already. Good for the Cardinals. Yeah. Going out there and kicking the shit out of a bad team and staying in control of their division.
As they should have. They did what they should have.
Yep.
I got nothing else. The Cardinals did what they should have.
Yeah.
This is pure organizational stability. The Cardinals, believe it or not, who under Mike Bidwell, I think is the owner.
Bidwell?
Bidwell have been trash. They're actually beginning to learn how to become a good organization. And they had it for a while under Ken Wisdom when they had Kurt Warner at quarterback. And Larry Fitzgerald, who is my favorite football player of all time.
A couple of good Carson Palmer years there, too, if I remember correctly.
They did.
Yeah.
You're seeing that was actually the epitome of a bad organization and an organization's only uprise. Really, and the football game just happened to be in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you ask the New York Jets fans, who all were raging for, oh my God, the Messiah came, ask them now. Them.
I would have been raging for it as well. I mean, Christ, they haven't had shit there in so long. Hey,
enjoy purgatory for the next 6 years. I'd rather have Mark Sanchez with his fucking man bun in the studio still rolling.
They've been in purgatory for the last 15 years.
Since Rex Ryan left.
Yeah. And even when he was there, it was Mark Sanchez. Was he ever going to win?
Rex Ryan and Chad Pennington. Rex Ryan actually said that he's like,
he'll take the job again in 5 minutes.
Yep.
He said it directly. I'll take the job in 5 minutes.
And he said it on Get Up too, like on national television on ESPN. And if I'm the Jets, I'd probably fucking give it to him, to be honest.
He's got his new veneers and everything. Like his teeth look phenomenal.
I mean, he's
go there. He's still got his Mark Sanchez tattoo. He can actually have number 5 tattooed in his fucking back for all I give a shit.
I just want to hear him talk in his press conferences. That's really what I want to hear.
You want culture? You want culture? You hire that guy. I guarantee you'll have one thing, and that's culture. I don't know if it's culture I want to be a part of, but it's culture. I think we need to move on. Second to penultimate game of the day, the second to last game that I watched yesterday. Philadelphia versus Dallas. Dallas, same offensive line as the Jets here, scored 3 in each of the first 2 quarters and didn't score the rest of the game. Cooper Rush is awful. 45 passing yards on 23 attempts. That is so fucking bad. It's unbelievable. CeeDee Lamb had a wide open touchdown in the end of the game that he dropped because he couldn't see the ball because the sun was shining through the stadium too much. And he said in the post-game conference they should put curtains over it. And Jerry Jones said that he's a fucking moron. So already dissension in the organization there. Micah Parsons said that he feels worse for Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence and their vets than he does for Mike McCarthy because he's like, these guys are at the end of their road. Mike McCarthy can get a job wherever, and basically said Mike McCarthy's gone. It was worse than that. It's not good. It's really bad. It's no good. I think it's Trey Lance time, which God, that's scary. And the Eagles continue their winning streak. I have nothing on the Eagles side of this game, only just negative Dallas stuff.
Micah Parsons literally said that Zach Martin has put in more work in his career than Mike McCarthy has, which is complete fucking bullshit. So
disagree.
I don't. Mike McCarthy's a Super Bowl winning head coach. And Zach Martin hasn't won a goddamn fucking thing. So And they've had all the talent. They're supposed to win every fucking year. Keep your fucking mouth shut because you're not even playing half the time. And then you go on your podcast. You won't even answer questions. You said C podcast. And I don't even know how this is legal, but he's getting paid by Bleacher Report to do his podcast because they're now under Bleacher Report now or whatever. I'm not sure how the integrity is on that when he's now coming out and saying he's not answering questions. He'll answer them on the podcast. That whole organization is a fucking train wreck.
It's a complete mess. And I think honestly, bottom 5 to 10 organization in the league that I would want to be a fan base of. I think I'd still rather be a Cowboys fan than a Bears fan, but I don't know. You can talk me out of that. It's really ugly in Dallas.
The Cowboys are an absolute dumpster fire, and we use that term a lot. Jerry Jones the owner would have fired Jerry Jones, the GM.
Yep.
Flat out.
Yeah. I mean,
and I know my Wi-Fi is going down. Am I still here?
You're fine. You're good. You're good.
All right. Also, the biggest fucking cunt puddle of an organization right now is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Can't argue with you there.
Carolina's hot. They've won 2 straight. They're on the rise.
Hence the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, don't look now. Tepper's got some good juju going. Not only did he do the whole.
Can't say
thing,
Jew on this. You can't say Jew on this. We're a non-religious podcast.
We've got the most Jewish last name of all time. I think we can get
Shalom. Good to see you.
It's true.
So the Tepper gave up a stadium for free for all the musicians to do their concert, to raise money for all the hurricane flooding in North Carolina and stuff like that. But they were just in Germany, and he was buying everybody beers at the bar and all the German people beers at the bar, and was saying how much he loves it there. I'm like, all right, he's buying beers for everybody, and he's done 2 good things in a row, and they have a winning streak. Maybe he's got some good graces with the football gods going right now.
Yeah, and Dustin, before you even get going anywhere, I'm going to give credit where credit is due, because we shit on people that don't allow their businessmen, and they made their billions because they're good businessmen, but then they don't allow other people to actually breathe and allow them to do their jobs, even though they hire them. He did a great job with the hurricane stuff. Like, without a doubt, he killed it, allowing them to use the facilities to shelter people. Well done. Like, well done.
Yeah, he needed some good press. He had, I mean, I don't want to say he's a terrible person. I don't know what he's like besides a couple instances that happened. Maybe he takes care of a lot of people, but yeah, he needed some good press after the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing else. You guys hit the nail on the head there. I don't want to keep harking on the same thing over and over. So
sometimes good press, hopefully it's not even press. And I don't know exactly where I'm going with this or how to word it appropriately. So if I fumble this, I apologize. You hear about like Charles Barkley and what he does for people, and he doesn't even want the recognition. You hear about Shaq paying for funerals for people, and he doesn't talk about it, but other people do. If David Tepper did something very nice for somebody and doesn't talk about it, well done. Like, I mean, really good fucking job.
Yeah.
It's in the grand scheme of things, if your football team sucks, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
All right? Who cares?
Agree.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations to the Eagles. They've won 5 straight games. It looked like they were kind of in limbo earlier in the season, and they've righted the ship. I've got really nothing else on this game. Interested in like we said earlier, the Thursday night game against Washington. I think that'll tell us a lot about both of those teams and where they stand in the division. I think it's a 2-horse race. Obviously, Dallas is not good, and the Giants are a complete mess. Sorry, bar that up. Last game of the day. What a slugfest. Jared Goff becomes only the 3rd quarterback since 1991 to throw 5 picks in a game and still win. Those 2 quarterbacks were Matt Ryan in 2012 and Tony Romo in 2007. CJ Stroud and the Texans have looked terrible for almost a month now. I guess without Nico Collins, their offense has really struggled, and I don't know if it's necessarily just him or if teams are just trying to are just starting to figure out the formula a little bit. Their defense doesn't look like it's quite as locked in, and their offense is definitely looking worse for wear. And shout out to Lions kicker Jake Bates. Made 2 kicks in the fourth quarter, over 50 yards, 58 and 52 yarder. The 52 yarder was the one that went in. And both of them scraped the each side of the goalpost. That guy in his rookie year this year is 14 out of 14, has only missed 1 extra point, 32 out of 33. So having a hell of a rookie year for a kicker. But yeah, I mean, what are your takeaways immediately? Obviously the Goff stat line is going to be the one that that really stands out at the beginning when you just look at the box score, at least.
I want to say this right away. The Detroit Lions played like the Detroit Lions. That was a team that fought against being miserable that day.
Oh, yeah.
And they won a freaking game.
Yep.
Good for them. And they scared the shit out of me. They are the NFC version of the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Goff was due for probably a stinker after the incredible streak that he's been on, to be honest with you. He's been absolutely incredible. So you know what? To have a stinker and then literally fight back the second half to win this game is just shown. It's just another notch on their belt that they can show. They've showed themselves now that they can come back from a terrible fucking half and come back and win a game. They've showed themselves that they can fight through a game where they don't have their best stuff offensively or defensively and still come back and win a game. Yeah,
and this is a playoff team too.
Yeah, they got it.
That beat.
Their confidence has to be just continue to rise. I mean, from the lines that we've seen all year, they look like shit, and they still came back and found a way to win this game. So good on them.
Yeah,
that's battle tested.
I mean,
that's another battle tested. You can say they didn't look great, but you know what? They figured out a way to win the fucking game when they didn't play well. So that's just going to give them even more confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing else to add. Like I said, I just don't think Stroud and the Texans. I don't think they have anything to worry about in their division because their division is complete ass. But I do think that they're going to really struggle in the playoffs if they can't run the ball. And I don't think the Lions necessarily have the best running defense in the league. And Joe Mixon had 25 carries for 45 yards.
Can we talk about how bad the Texas uniforms were?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, the red.
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah, I don't.
Not a fan.
I don't like all. It's too much. It looked like they were at Texas Tech or something.
Yeah.
They looked awful. They were redder than Brooks's face.
They looked like the Raging Cajun.
Oh, ULL Lafayette. I like that.
Ooh, I like that. Great baseball team.
See, I like the Jags uniforms better than those. I'll take the Jags uniforms over the Houston uniforms any day.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skew away from the stupid fucking Texans game because that was worthless. I actually want to discuss the Ravens uniforms from Thursday with the matted helmets, and I'm getting. And after we did our live podcast, thank you again, Chesapeake Wine Company. There's a lot of people that do not like the Ravens matted helmets and the decal that were on the helmet. Do we have any thoughts on that?
I'm a huge fan.
I thought the matted helmets were awesome. I think there's an argument against the decal because I think Zach Brooks made this point. Zach Bollinger made this point that the decal wasn't centered on the helmet, which is weird. And maybe they could have just gone with the matted helmets and used the regular Raven bird that they normally use. But I like that. I thought the uniforms were sweet. They look good on TV and they look good in the stadium. I was there. So yeah, it was, I don't really have any like crazy thoughts on it. I liked them
better than the one when we were wearing the gold pants and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, that was ugly.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, when we all pissed ourselves. Yeah, that was fun.
I saw somebody say that. I think it was JJ Watt said like these uniforms are giving off real big Crown Royal bag vibes, which was a great one. It was a great line. I think Drew sent me that on Instagram, but I like it. I like the bird. I don't know. Do I want it for like every single uniform? No, God, no. But I think it's cool to do it once a year. Like it didn't like I didn't hate it enough to. I didn't hate it at all, really. I like the bird that's coming on. I think people think it looks too old school. It reminds them of like the 98, whereas like the sideways bird is now like more, I don't know, makes you feel it's like more new school, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I do. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the all purple. Yeah, Brian's got given thumbs down if you're just listening along. I don't know how I feel about the all purple. I think the black, you'd have to probably change the face mask though. The all black uniforms with the purple helmet might look cool. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
Yeah.
I totally dig the Redskins uniforms when they do the all blacks.
Commanders.
For some reason, I'm still going Redskins, Huckleberry. All right.
I don't like those. See, I don't like them.
The all black Commanders, you fucking asshole. Would they have the line that goes above the name and below the name on the back?
I was gonna say that's the reason why I hate them.
Oh Jesus!
So we're on two different wavelengths on this one.
Yeah.
I dig it, dude. I love it. I love that we're with
All right. Tonight's game, Miami and the Rams. Miami has to win tonight to have any semblance of a chance of saving their season. The Rams have to win tonight to stay in lockstep with the loaded NFC West. When I say loaded, I just mean all those teams clumped together. I don't necessarily know if all those teams. Yeah, we're in LA for this game. And
hammer the Rams.
Looks like Tyreek Hill is a game time decision with a wrist injury. This was weird because he practiced all week, but I guess in training camp he hurt his wrist. And he's been playing through it all year.
He didn't practice Thursday or Friday.
He didn't practice Friday or Saturday because they played Monday night. Yeah. So he didn't practice either of the last 2 days, which usually means he's not playing. But it's Tyreek
Saturday and Sunday, by the way, guys. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday. Sorry, I said that wrong.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I think this game completely depends on if Tyreek Hill plays. I think the Dolphins, if he doesn't play, are going to be really hamstrung on offense. I think he's one of the most important players to his team in the NFL when they're going good. So I really think this game depends on him. And even if he does play, I still like the Rams. I think they're a better team. I think the Dolphins are pretty bad. I think Mike McDaniel might be coaching his last season in Miami. He has not had a good year. And I know it's tough with Tua out, but I've not been impressed with the Dolphins at all. So, yeah. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this game before we just move on to the final segments of our podcast?
No, I mean, I need Tyreek Hill to play to complete
your favorite team.
To complete some of my comebacks that I have going on right now. Also, if I can have Kyren Williams to have a great game, then I will make the most improbable comeback of all time to beat Dustin this week.
Yeah, you need to put up like a 40 burger, though. I started off the week with a nice little 50 out of Jamar Chase, which worked for me.
Yeah, I know. No, not only that, 50 from him. You also have.
All right, we're stopping this right now. You know what people hate the most? Everyone talking about their fantasy teams.
Well, this pertains to the Gary Williams Stole My Lunch Furniture League that
all right, okay, fine.
That people can be a part of for next year if you want. I mean, not only does he start with the 50 burger, he gets Derrick Henry in the end zone. He gets the guy Tracy for the Giants killing me. So yeah. No, his first name's Tracy.
Yeah, Tyrone. No, his last name's Tracy.
Tracy. She's lots changed since high school.
Yeah.
I would like to invite a new viewer to our podcast who just told me she's watching. Her name is Antonia. I call her Frankie. Her middle name is Frank. I call also the Greek Ice Witch. She is a rock star. She is a woman that can kick my ass. And she loves the living hell out of me and us and everyone around Canton.
That makes one.
Go fuck yourself. I just want to say this now. And Brooks, I know I'm sorry to cut you off. Anthony, I love the shit out of you. I mean it. I'm looking you right in the camera right now. Thank you for everything. I just thank you. That's it. All right. Thank you.
She's like, why are you staring at me right now through my TV?
Such a weird, intense guy. Why is he doing this? All right. Quick shout outs before we do our snake draft. Quick shout outs to the Capitals and Alex Ovechkin. The Capitals are 10-4.
Getting closer.
Alexander Ovechkin is 10 goals and 8 assists in 14 games. He is on pace to break Gretzky's record this season if he continues this pace, which is a lot better than he has been putting up the last season or two. Good for him. Quick shout out to the number 18 ranked Lady Terps, kicking the shit out of the Duke Blue Devils in College Park yesterday, 85-80. Duke was ranked number 11. It's the first time I've seen Maryland versus Duke anything in a really long time. So that was really cool. It's really awesome that whenever the Terps beat Duke, don't care what sport it is, if it's men or women. Other quick shout out, Ben Herbstreit, RIP. College football's favorite.
What a segment they did on him yesterday.
College football's favorite dog. And yeah, the college game day segment that's like 3 minutes will rip your heart to shreds. Do not watch it if you're going to cry. It's really awesome and really important stuff. And
I can't watch Marley and Me. I watched it for about 6 seconds and I was like, I'm out. See ya.
The problem with Marley and Me is that it's so fucking funny for like the first hour, and I want to watch the movie, and then I'm like, fuck, he's gonna die soon.
I know what you're doing to me. Yeah. You're setting me up now.
Spoiler alert.
Setting me up.
Yeah, also, that movie came out 20 years
going back to Ovechkin looks like old Ovechkin right now.
I know, he looks awesome. The Caps put up 8 goals the other night. They're kicking ass.
Is Alex Ovechkin Ed Reed in regards to like the beard and gray and just still kicking ass?
I guess. I don't know. I think he's gonna end up being the greatest goal scorer in NHL history as long as everything goes well for the next couple of years.
It'll probably get broken here at the end of a couple people's careers.
Connor McDavid's good at hockey. I honestly, I don't have anything else to talk about this week. We're going to get into more baseball stuff, but right now there's just not a lot going on.
Yeah, winter meetings are coming up too.
Just not a lot to talk about, but it will ramp up quickly. And as soon as the first guy signs in free agency, then the rest of the dominoes are going to fall pretty quickly after that. So we'll have a lot more baseball content. I know we're baseball guys, but it's football season right now, and there's not much baseball stuff going on. So that's why we're talking more baseball and a little less Orioles and baseball, or more football and a little less Orioles now.
The men's basketball.
I want either Joe Radke or Antonia to make one of my first pick for my best sitcom character for our draft.
Your first pick?
Mm-hmm.
You got the number 2 overall pick. You just ruined the integrity of the show, man.
Can't do it.
I'm trying to bring in viewership, buddy.
Can't do it.
All right, our snake draft this week is brought to you by Pig and Rooster and the Chaucer, and it is
Chesapeake Wine Company. Chesapeake Wine Company.
And it is best sitcom characters. Best sitcom characters of all time. We're not doing animated, so no Homer, no Cartman or anything. We have knocked those out. We did an animated character or cartoon character draft just a couple weeks ago, actually. So we're just going to do live action and just sitcoms. No Tony Soprano, no, Omar or anything like that. We're just going to do sitcoms. At a later date, we'll do TV characters from non-sitcoms and that'll be a fun draft as well. But Brooks won our snake draft last week. And Brian came in second. I came in third because I guess people don't think Sam Darnold is very good. And he didn't look very good this week, so I don't blame you. Brooksy, you have the number 1 pick. Who is the best sitcom character of all time, in your opinion?
Let me pull up my list here again that I had.
Get the fuck out of here. You watch TV.
I mean,
I do, but I have a list of stuff.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite all time, and I'm giving up a big one to Brian here by not taking him. My number 1, Michael Scott from The Office.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible guess. I mean, that's one of the best ever.
All right, I'm going to supersede Antonia, who just sent me her pick. I'll take it with my second pick.
I know who it's going to be.
I have to take Cosmo Kramer.
Yeah.
Antonia, I'm sorry.
Actually, I'm surprised you took him.
Honestly, I'm surprised you took him over. My number 1 overall was George Costanza.
Thought that's
can't stand you. Yeah, I mean, you can argue at this point. It's it's just preference. But yeah, I mean, George Costanza, Cosmo Kramer, Michael Scott. These are three of the best sitcom characters of all time. You're really splitting hairs here.
Yeah. First round was good for all of us.
First round's really, it's great, and this is really going to be tough for me moving forward because I have so many people I want to put on this list.
Just make a goddamn pick.
But I'm going to take Dwight Schrute in the second round with my wraparound pick. I get Costanza and Dwight Schrute, and I know that might be a little early, but God, that show is just one of my favorites.
Dude, it's killer. And I'm going to go with Antonia's pick. I'm going to go with Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Well,
this is an Antonia pick, all right. The Antonia Frankie pick.
That's not a bad pick. I think that's a great character.
Is your pick. This is your pick. You have to own this.
I'll be here all day, baby.
All right.
Give me Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson was going off the board. Yeah, I thought about him in the last round.
Being in Indiana, and I mean he's just fucking awesome. Man, I got 3 here that I'm between, but I'm gonna go with my college favorite show. Charlie Kelly from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Good call.
Yeah, that's got to be on somebody's
list.
If
anyone fights doing that, I'll fight that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Rogers, what do you got for number 3?
My number 3 is going to be Steve Urkel.
Steve Urkel was on my honorable mentions, but would not have been on my list. I actually really like that pick. For any of our older viewers, sorry Al Bundy's still on the board, but I'm not going to take him either.
Number 3. Number 3.
I don't think we're. Are we allowed to take him?
No, I mean it's just yeah. My third pick is going to be Frank Reynolds from the same show as Charlie Kelly, Danny DeVito's character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the funniest TV show characters of all time, in my estimation. My number 4 overall is going to be Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Andre Braugher, absolutely love that show and that guy, and I really wanted to take. If we could take Scully and Hitchcock as a duo, I would, but I'm going to take Holt.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Captain Raymond Holt.
Yeah, R.I.P. Andre Braugher.
All right, another Antonia pick right here. Just got sent to me. Whatever the fuck Charlie Sheen's name is in whatever the hell that
Charlie. His name's Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know his last name. Maybe he just goes by.
No, they have a last name, don't they? Charlie Harper is his name.
Okay.
Great. Tiger Blood.
Charlie Harper. That's a good answer. I watched that show a shit ton when I was younger. So yeah, that's a good one.
And
Brooksy,
my last pick.
Yourself with 2. No,
my last pick.
What are you doing?
I'm aware. My last pick is from my mom. I'm not even kidding. My last pick's from my mom.
Fair enough.
She just texted me right now.
I got 2 to round me out, right?
Yes, you do.
I am gonna go with give me Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso is a great answer. I think a lot of people are gonna love that one.
I think so as well, and they're gonna love this one.
Pissed I missed that. And Coach Beard. Damn it.
You can still get it, but not if you're taking your mom's pick.
My
last one's gonna be Phil Dunphy. I think he's hysterical.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna argue with you there. He's really funny.
All right, my last pick. This is for my mom. I love you. And Camden and Katie, I love the hell out of you guys. And Lee. My mom asked me to take the Fonzie.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
You're gonna
Honestly,
get the older crowd. You're gonna get the older crowd with the
should have gotten in there a little bit earlier, probably. But we're of a younger generation, so we're gonna pick younger characters here.
My mom said directly, if you don't take the Fonz, you can't come to Thanksgiving. That was the text.
I have a lot of guys I really want to go with here, but really it comes down to between 2. It's going to be between give me Mr. Feeney. I'm taking Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World, and I'm not looking back. I love Mr. Feeney. my first honorable mention and who I was between Mr. Feeney was Uncle Phil from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Also Andy Dwyer, Leslie Knope, Carlton Banks, Red Foreman. I got a ton more, but you guys go ahead.
I mean, Larry David, obviously.
Yeah, I have him on my list.
I mean, how can we not bring him up? I did have Uncle Phil as well. I think you guys took.
Lucille Ball, Lucille Ricardo is her real name.
I love Lucy.
Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo.
Hello, Jerry.
Joey Tribbiani.
Boca Vista.
Yeah.
And then if no one takes if I could have had my fifth pick, and I love you, Mom, I would have taken Newman.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
have
hate you
that.
for that either.
George Jefferson,
Creed Bratton, Kevin Malone. Yeah, I mean, I have written down Lewis and Oswald from the Drew Carey Show, which is Dietrich Bader and Ryan Stiles in the Drew Carey Show. I love those guys. I love that show when I was a kid. And Dietrich Bader, by the way, just a straight direct line to my funny bone. Just one of the funniest dudes. Was not used correctly. He was a guy who didn't get enough minutes. He needed to get more minutes off the bench.
Which one was he?
He's the guy in. He's the neighbor in Office Space. He's also he's in Balls of Fury. But he's just a goofy like delivery driver in Drew Carey Show that was always with Ryan Stiles.
Gotcha.
That guy is so funny. Barney Stinson, Michael Kelso, Phoebe Buffet, Marshall Erickson, Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World as well. Got a bunch.
Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
Oh,
yep. That's a good one.
You know what? Sneaky good one is Mr. Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
Feeney,
but I mean, Feeney was one that I completely forgot about that Dustin picked.
George Jefferson.
Dustin
said. No, I didn't. Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son. Anyone from that show. Mimi from the Drew Carey Show was also on my list.
Fran Drescher from The Nanny was annoying but funny. And my favorite Golden Girl was always Blanche. And she could be on there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many sitcoms and so many good characters. It's tough. We could have done. We've said this before, but we could have done a million. We could have done at least 10, and gotten bigger lists. But I'm happy with my 4. I'll go down them again. Brooks got Michael Scott, Ron Swanson, Charlie Kelly, Ted Lasso, and Phil Dunphy.
That's a
Brian.
winner.
Brian got Cosmo Kramer.
This is a runaway, guys. This is a runaway.
Dude. That's the easiest.
It's Ray Romano, but I don't know if his last name is Romano in the show. I can't remember. But it's everybody loves. He's got Cosmo Kramer. Everybody loves Raymond. Steve Urkel, Charlie Harper, and the Fonz. And I have Costanza, Dwight Schrute, Frank Reynolds, Captain Raymond Holt, and Mr. Feeney as my list. So those are our favorite sitcom characters of all time. Who do we miss? Who do you guys like that we didn't put on there? I'm sure you're gonna let us know. We always hear all kinds of stuff about that.
If you're gonna let us know, at least vote. God damn it! The whole point of this is to vote to see who wins. Don't just give us your feedback of who we missed.
Yeah, fucking vote. Don't be a fucking curmudgeon and just start sending shit out. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you didn't bring up, fucking, Murphy Brown. Go fuck yourself. All right, vote on the goddamn podcast. All right. And look, if you want me to be Murphy Brown for Halloween, I'll be it next year. I'll wear a fucking pantsuit.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
It's your job to keep me on the rails, dude. Your job.
Another shout out that I wanted to bring up as well is the men's Terps. The men's Terps. 2-0 against bullshit teams, obviously. But what's Queen's first name? Derek Queen's. Derek Queen's first 2 games, I think 2 double-doubles. I know they're against bullshit teams, but we'll take it. We'll take it so far, right? I mean, at least he's not underperforming. We could be talking about that right now. So, and the Terps football team covered.
I know those fuckers. I bet Oregon.
We covered.
I took Oregon,
happy
Georgia,
you're
and
happy.
Miami on Saturday, and
I'm
all of
happy
them
that-
lost.
I'm pumped that we covered. We put up what 23 or no? What was it? I don't know. Regardless, we covered.
Makes me think Oregon's not the best team in the country because good teams win and great teams cover, and they didn't cover.
Yep, I thought they should have been favored by about 49. Again, shout out to Chesapeake Wine Company and Miss Kim Bosley. Also shout out to the Foys again for getting us together this past week, which was always awesome when we get together.
Can you put up that photo, Brooks, if you have an opportunity?
On the right on here.
Yeah, the combo photo between Drew's wedding and.
I think so. Let me see.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
While you do that,
on top of that, hopefully we'll get another in-person one again here before the end of the year. We'll definitely have one with Dustin and I together, just because turns out we are brothers, so we will be in town for holidays, and they will be out here for holidays. So we'll get one with me and him together, and maybe Brian will come out for one too. That'd be good.
who knows?
Yeah.
I'll be out there for New Year's for sure. I'm actually looking at flights actively before this. But that being said, while Brooks pulls up that lovely photo from the wedding, I want to give a huge shout out to Miss Kelsey McManus, Miss Antonia. I can't even say your last name. Whatever. I love the living hell out of both of you so much. You guys have been phenomenal and been there for us over a long period of time. And I know that you're a bear and I'm a bear in regards to weight on our shoulders. But I say every single goddamn time when we end this podcast, before we show this photo of just friends and family being amazing. This is a mental health based podcast in the end of every podcast. I do this podcast every single week because of the two men that are standing and sitting and around me at all times, both in my memories, in my thoughts, and on my screen, because I love them. I care about them. And it's so important that I'm with them. And if you have any troubles, Joe, whoever the hell it may be, reach out. Look at that.
That's the best thing. Best I can make it work for whatever reason. But
yeah. Well, I mean, if you're friends with us or if you follow us on social media, you've probably seen this on social media, and we'll put it up on the Gary Williams Show network Instagram account as well. But yeah, this is on the top. It's Drew and Hannah's wedding, which was last year or 2 years ago. And it's just a big group of our baseball group chat friends getting together. And so we recreated it for this wedding. It was the same venue, a lot of the same friends in the picture, with a couple added this time around because we knew how iconic the last one was. So, it was a really, really great time this whole weekend. Between the Raven game, between the Chesapeake Wine Company, between the wedding, I know you guys did brunch on Sunday at the Chaucer. Shout out to the Chaucer and everyone that showed up to that. I unfortunately was not able to go to that. Had to come back.
Great job by Kelsey and John Human and all those guys that ran that. I mean,
and great job by all the employees and staff. And thank you guys for watching, and thanks you guys for reaching out. I've gotten more and more support every week from my friends and family, and people reach out all the time and just say, hey, you're doing a great job. I love seeing the little clips and like that stuff. And whether you watch the little clips on Instagram or whether you watch the whole podcast on YouTube or wherever, any little bit helps us. So like, comment, subscribe, interact, vote in our little snake draft polls. Those are really fun. And the more people who vote, the better we can gauge our audience and kind of make those polls even better. And it's been a roller coaster emotion weekend for all of us. And just thank you to everybody. Just everybody, whoever watches, whoever listens, whoever, whatever. Thank you. Just thank you.
Yep. And my last thing is, once again, happy Veterans Day to all of our veteran friends and families that are out there. We appreciate the hell out of you. Don't give up the ship. I think we got Army Navy coming up here in a couple weeks. And a special shout out, because I know neither of them really watched the show, but one of our friends that rhymes with Shmoo Schmerton was on the WBAL News Network, and you should probably go check that out. It's on Blind Sport.
Shmoo Schmerton. Shout out Shmoo Schmerton. Also, shout out Paul Peters. We haven't heard from you in a while, and we're really looking forward to your next comment. So hopefully you can get your aardvark ass out of the ground and try to figure something out and comment something else about Brooks' stupid face.
Where is that guy? I need him.
He's probably in Arkansas with Joe.
I need him back in my life because that guy was hysterical.
I want Schmoosh Birkin and Peter.
I asked him straight up at the wedding. I was like, "Was it you?" I was like, "It was hysterical. You should probably just say it was you."
Yeah.
When he said it, like, "No, it wasn't me."
And also, again, Antonio, Deborah, Russ, thank you so much. Kim Bosley, John Human, everyone that came out and had a good time. Fucking great at Chesapeake Wine Company.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys again, and we'll stop giving thank yous and we'll actually sign off now. Thank you guys for watching. It's been another great show, and we will see you on Thursday when we do our picks for this week, and we'll preview the Eagles and Commanders game and the rest of the Week 11 NFL games. Wow, Week 11 does not feel good saying that already. But anyway, thanks again.
Ravens Steelers week, baby. Is there a better week?
Let's just do this real fast stuff. See, I know you just did a little bit quick sign off. Ravens Steelers week. Mount up. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have our resident Steelers fan on to tell us how he's feeling. So
be respectful. Be respectful.
All right. Outros are awkward. See you guys.
Bye.